Hey guys, Matthew Palumbo here from Stinger Solutions, and on today's workshop, we're going to talk about how the Racesport Colortrail technology works. Racesport's Colortrail family of products is a full suite of dynamic RGBW lighting products for both interior and exterior illumination on just about any vehicle. What makes Colortrail special is that it uses a single controller with only two outputs. Each output supports up to 1,000 LEDs, and the beautiful part is there's never any need to run wiring back to the controller. That's what makes this so special. So on the table here, I have some of our most popular products. I have a 4-pack of the Racesport Colortrail rock lights, as well as a couple of our 2-foot whips. Now you see that all of these are working together in a dynamic pattern. So for those that aren't familiar, what does dynamic mean? Well, a regular RGB fixture can create basically any color, any mixture of red, green, or blue, hence the RGB. But a dynamic RGB fixture can show multiple colors at once. So just like you see on these whips, they're actually showing several colors at the same time as it kind of flows through each product. That's a dynamic lighting product. The other cool thing about the Colortrail family is that they have a RGBW. So these are actually able to create a true white. On the side of the controller, we talked earlier about how the controller only has 2 outputs. Well, that means everything in this family is daisy chainable. So every light fixture, like these rock lights here, all have an input and an output. So all you've got to do is come out of your main controller into, say, your front 2 lights, maybe in your front wheel wells. Out of those wheel wells, you're just going to run a very simple extension like this. It has these nice little barrel connectors. They're waterproof, they're gasketed, have these nice little collars that twist on. You're going to extend that to, say, the rear wheel well rock lights. And now out of those rock lights, you want to add maybe a couple of whips to the back of your Jeep or side-by-side or whatever the vehicle is. No problem. You're just going out of those rock lights into your whips. Now, once that's all done, as you can see, the light pattern actually flows through each of the fixtures and onto the next. So that's what gives it a dynamic pattern. One of the really cool parts, though, is the controller and its extra inputs. The inputs on these controllers allow for a turn signal left, turn signal right, as well as a reverse and a brake input. So what happens when I hit reverse? If I put the vehicle in reverse, everything shifts to a pure white light. And this is not that typical bluish white that an RGB fixture creates. This is firing up a separate white chip, giving you a true white. Looks really good. When you take the vehicle out of reverse, it goes back into doing its dynamic pattern, whatever you had it set to before. Now, when we hit a turn signal, same idea. I'm going to hit right turn, and you'll notice that these lights all go to amber, and turn signal's done. Goes back to the dynamic pattern. Same thing for left turn. Goes back to its pattern. And if we hit the brakes, everything shifts to red, just like so. So that's what those inputs are all about. Now, the cool thing to me is being able to use those inputs for other things. Not every customer is going to want all their lighting changing every time they put on a turn signal or hit the brakes. But one of my favorite uses is to use that reverse input with the dome light. So take your dome light, tap into it, and feed it into that reverse wire. Now every time someone opens a door, all of the lighting under the vehicle shifts to white. Gives you a nice puddle light or valet light, whatever you want to call it. Makes for a great courtesy light, looks very nice, kind of gives you a luxury car vibe out of your lighting setup. So with the Colortrail family, don't forget this is not just exterior lighting, there's also interior lighting. We have a great ambient lighting kit that gives you kind of that high-end European vehicle feel. If you've seen the interior on any modern Audi, BMW, Mercedes, anything like that, you can actually mimic that same style on just about any vehicle using our ambient interior kits. They're available in 2-door or 4-door, and they tie into the Colortrail family. One of the coolest parts, though, I think, is not only being able to have all this great lighting and have it tied into the vehicle, but also being able to control it. So you can control it from several different ways. We can control it from the Horizon series of head units from Stinger. That's the Horizon 10 or the Horizon 12. You can also control it from the wireless remote, which is this little credit card style remote right here. So if you just want to do basic things like, say, change colors or put it into auto mode, change patterns, speed up the patterns, that sort of thing, you can do that right from the remote control, and you get some different basics, right? If you want full control, you bust out your smart device, smartphone, tablet, something like that, and use the Stinger Lighting app. And from there, you have the ultimate control. Now you can not only dial in every available pattern, you can also go in and create your own patterns, as well as modify the pixel count and do anything else that you need to do with the settings for your kit, all in that app. Well, thanks for tuning into today's workshop. I hope you got a better understanding today of how the Colortrail family of products from Racesport works and how it can make your life so much easier as far as not having to run all those cables throughout the car, not having to solder all those tiny little wires and deal with all the complexity that normally comes with dynamic RGB lighting. Really, Colortrail makes your life so much simpler and your installer's life simpler, and your customer ends up with a better lighting system that does more and gives them more for their money. So hopefully you got something out of today's workshop. For more information on any of these cool Racesport Colortrail products or anything that we've talked about today, be sure to check out stingersolutions.com. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next one.